Hi. So, welcome to my channel again. Um, this is my 34-week bump date. Uh, just a couple of things to address. One, all three of the cats are basically snuggling. I have this one right here, then there's that one, and then this one. Hi, Mama. So I don't want to move. And just, I guess a couple of updates, really. Nothing. A couple of physical updates. And then I'll kind of get on to the other one that's just been really getting to me. Anyway, I will also insert a couple of clips of my baby moving in my belly, so you know what it looks like around this time. One of the clips is actually in its own separate video on my channel, but I will be inserting it anyway. Anywho. Let's go to the symptoms, I guess. My feet hurt all the time. I still get awful heartburn. It does not matter what I eat. And in fact, if I go too long without eating, I get heartburn. So, damned if I do, damned if I don't. I guess it's normal. Second one, or, third one would be that I am experiencing Braxton Hicks contractions. I have been for the past, on and off for the past week or so. I couldn't tell at first because it was nothing like how I read Braxton Hicks were supposed to feel like. For me, it didn't feel similar to a period cramp. It felt more like, how to describe it? It felt more like, you know that pressure you feel in your bladder when your bladder's really full and you haven't peed yet and you're just like really holding it in? It's kind of what it felt like, but through my lower abdomen. It didn't hurt, but it was difficult for me to do too much movement. And I do notice that if I have not had enough to drink, then it'll trigger my Braxton Hicks, or if I do something physical that's too physically demanding for me, such as doing laundry, it'll trigger Braxton Hicks. So, in case you didn't know, those are two things that can trigger Braxton Hicks contractions when you start getting them. Oh, she's moving. So, there's that. That's kind of exciting. Another... Oh, she's leaving me now. Another thing I've been experiencing is, and I know that maybe not too many women are familiar with sensations that happen in their bodies or anything like that. I'm hypersensitive to stuff that goes on in my body. I mean, I can detect when I have a hormone imbalance. Like, it's, I'm very hypersensitive. I have been feeling my cervix thinning. And it feels really weird. Like, if you're someone who doesn't... Oh, she kicked me. Who doesn't use tampons that often, and like, occasionally you may use one and it feels really weird and it feels really tight and stiff and just hard to move, hard to do anything. That's kind of what it feels like. I was just laying on my side and I really had to pee, so then I got up, but it was really difficult because I had this incredible stiffness in my cervix area. And I did some research. I called my hospital, and they told me that that's the cervix thinning. And that's what it feels like. So that's exciting, I guess, as long as nothing like really dramatic happens. I am close to 35 weeks, which, means that these things are going to start happening, and I'm just more nervous that I won't make it to at least 37 weeks. I would very much so like to at least make it to 37 weeks before anything happens. But that's not my choice. Anyway, that's really it. I'm not losing any mucus plug. I'm not bleeding. I'm not cramping. A fear of mine actually is when I was experiencing the Braxton Hicks is that if I do go into labor, how will I know? Because I'm told that Braxton Hicks feels like period cramps, and it didn't for me. My grandmother has basically no capability of feeling pain. Like it has to be beyond extreme for her to complain. And she walked around 9 centimeters dilated and didn't even know it. So, I'm a little concerned that I'm not going to be able to detect through pain. And believe it or not, I am actually kind of looking forward to pain because, that's part of the experience. So, yeah. So that's what's going on with that. Everything else is the same. Little girl is active. She's very active all the time. And I couldn't be more grateful for it. But, yeah, that's about it, really. Oh, she moves. Oh. Actually, something else I wanted to mention is like if I'm laying on my side, sometimes she'll kind of like lodge herself up under my rib. And so there'll be this body part just kind of sticking out right here under my ribs, and it's the weirdest thing. But it's so cool. I like watching her move. Okay, moving on to something that's been kind of taken a toll on me is something that a friend of mine referred to as the mommy blues, which I can only presume is due to hormone fluctuations. But still not fun. I have been incredibly emotional, but it has also been to a point where, where I feel the need to cry, but I can't. Like, it just doesn't happen. It's building up back here, but nothing's happening over here. And it's honestly one of the most annoying things I think I've ever really had to deal with in this pregnancy. Because a good cry would fix so much. But, it's not doing anything. And, I also do think part of the mommy blues is that I'm so far along in pregnancy that I physically can't do a lot of things. Doing something as simple as folding and hanging up laundry was enough to trigger Braxton Hicks for me. And that's very... kind of knocks down your esteem a little bit, especially when you're so used to doing everything on your own. It's just... it's a pretty drastic change, I would say. Maybe second-time moms and third-time moms are used to it or have come to terms with that part of being pregnant. But I feel like with first-time moms, it's one of those things that should be addressed. You know, people always talk about like symptoms that no one tells you about and this, that, and the other, but they don't tell you about anything else really. Like, they don't tell you that people will really treat you differently. I mean, they'll say pregnant women, give her a spot on the bus, hold the door open for her, blah blah blah, don't lift heavy weights, blah blah blah. But they don't say anything about in the third trimester where something as simple as putting laundry away is too much for you, or standing for 10 minutes can cause your feet to hurt for the rest of the day. And it's one of those things I think women should be warned about, because it really sucks. Maybe there are some women who appreciate being in a position where they don't have to do anything because they can't, but there are a lot of women who are not like that. I am one of those women. I need to do stuff. I need the choice. So that's been bothering me. And everything is just wrong. Everything is wrong right now. My life's a mess, and I can't do anything about it. I feel very out of control, which I think as a woman and a mother is a huge freaking deal. You know, as a woman, we generally like to be in control of things. And as a mother, you kind of have to be in control of things. And everyone's treating you like you're a mother who has to take control of things. At the same time, you're in a position where you're not allowed to take control of things. It's incredibly frustrating. It's incredibly stressful. It's skyrocketed my anxiety every day. I can't do anything. I can't go anywhere alone without being accosted. I can't clean the way that I would like to. It's really bad. and it may not be dangerous, but it's still very bad. I could go on, but I'd basically just be repeating myself. That's about it, I think. Front view, see little marks here. And then side view. You see a little body part being weird here. She's still very much up here, but she is head down. And then the other side. So that's the belly. Yeah, that's about it for me. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you'd like to keep updated. And yeah, that's it. Bye.